Girlies, and welcome back to the pod. Today we have a story time episode. I know when I originally started the podcast, I had said, we're going to do a story time episode once a month. So I was doing that originally, and then it just kind of got to the point where I kept forgetting about it. But I'm trying to get back into that because I posted on an Instagram story the other day asking y'all what types of episodes you wanted to see more. And the majority of you guys said storytime episodes. So I think I'm going to try to bring back the monthly story times because they're fun and that's pretty funny. So today the story times are your biggest, worst, and most embarrassing confessions. Pretty much it's a tell-all. It's a listener tell-all, except I'm reading it and reacting to it because yeah, so super exciting. Everybody get hyped. Some of these are interesting, but that's okay. That's okay. So chatting a little bit about my week. This week technically was the first week of school that all of the seniors in my grade weren't at school. Like some people were, some people weren't, because like half of my grade started internships. I did not. But I have not really been to a full day of school just all last week, which was really weird because I had a lot of free time, where I probably should have been studying. That would have been a really good idea. I did start studying for something, and then I got bored, so I decided to rewatch New Girl. Which the last time I watched that, it was maybe either middle school or like freshman year, so a while ago. But I started rewatching it, and it's so good. It's so good. Usually I can't rewatch shows, but enough time had passed where I like kind of forgot things that happened, and it wasn't like I knew what was going to happen in every single episode. Because sometimes if I watch shows, for example, like I tried rewatching Outlander like a few months ago, and I could remember every single thing that happened in every single episode, and it just got really boring because I knew exactly what was going to happen and like word for word what someone would say. But this wasn't like that, so I've been rewatching New Girl, procrastinating a bit. That's okay though. My logic is that it's the end of the year, so I'm gonna be nice to myself because it already feels like summer. I talked about this in my last episode where it's like the end of the year where you do have to try, but like it already feels like summer, so be nice to yourself. But I am gonna study. Yeah, it was just kind of hard to like get into that mindset, if you know what I'm talking about. And then also this week I started reading a new book. It is based on Greek mythology. It's called Circe. Because I finished the series I was reading, and I was like, okay, I need a new book. And I was gonna read Where the Crawdads Sing. I think that's what it's called. Because I had seen on YouTube that they're making it a movie, so I watched the trailer and I was like, okay, cool, this looks awesome. And then I kind of convinced myself that I don't want to watch it, or don't want to read it, and so I chose something different because this one had a lot of good reviews. The only thing is, I've started reading it and I realized I don't really like Greek mythology books. I don't know if it's just because it's the beginning of the book, but it's really slow, and I haven't been able to get into it, and watching New Girl for hours has not really helped because that's more interesting to me, but I'm gonna try to finish it. We'll see though. Not sure if I will, but I think it'll be okay. Maybe, possibly. Who knows? I just want school to be over, and I feel like school is over, and I probably shouldn't be thinking that, but in my mind, it is. And I have prom coming up on Friday. I have an update about prom dresses. So I can't remember if it was the last episode or the episode before, but I was talking about my issues with prom dresses and how I've just like, it's been a struggle, okay, to find one. Well, the red one that I ordered in February is now saying that its estimated delivery is the night before I have prom, which pretty much means it'll be maybe the morning of prom. So I might be getting the dress that I really want in time, but knowing my luck, it's not gonna fit. It's gonna look bad, or it's gonna get there the day after prom. So we'll see, but I got a notification saying that it's in the US now, because this was a dress that I had ordered internationally a few months ago, and it's in the US. It's like in Los Angeles right now. So hoping everything is good, hoping that it fits, because it is so good. Like, it is genuinely so good. Like, if it fits and if I get it in time, it'll be perfect. But if not, I have this other dress from Revolve that I might wear that's not really my favorite, and it kind of just, when I look at it, I go, it's fine. But that's not the vibe I'm going for. But it might have to be. I want the red one so bad. But, you know, we'll see. We'll hope. It's okay. But yeah, before I start sharing some of your guys' confessions, we're going to take a quick little break and I'll be right back. With Mother's Day coming up right around the corner, now is the perfect time to get your mom a gift from Ana Luisa. Ana Luisa is a sustainable jewelry brand focused on creating affordable and elegant pieces so you can look great without breaking the bank. Right now, Ana Luisa is running a buy one, get one 40% off sale. Check out Ana Luisa right now to get started on your Mother's Day shopping while also getting a little something special for yourself. Go to shop.analuisa.com/girlygirl. Make Mom's Day and treat her to new jewelry pieces with Ana Luisa's buy one, get one 40% off sale. Just click the link in the description of this episode to find your new go-to jewelry piece from Ana Luisa. Again, that's shop.analuisa.com/girlygirl. Okay, the time that everyone has been waiting for. Your confessions. Some of these are worse than others. Some of them not that bad, maybe a little relatable. I did read a lot of confessions. They're not all in here. I chose to leave out some of the incest related ones just because it wasn't the vibe I was going for. I just thought everyone should know those were some of the submissions. We're gonna skip those though, okay? And talk about some other people's confessions, because I think we all know incest is not good. I would hope. So we're just gonna skip that, okay? Okay. The first confession. Ba-da-da-da. Okay. I used to make fake Instagram profiles and stalk my crushes on them and try to catfish them. You'd be surprised. This one actually came up a lot. Okay, but also I feel like it's not that bad. But also, then again, I know people who have, by saying I know people, I mean I have done this. I can't remember when it was, maybe sophomore year. My friends and I had decided to make like a fake Tinder account where we just made up a random name, made a random profile because we were like, oh my god, we're gonna like mess with people, you know? And we ended up getting like matched with this guy who we all knew, who lived like in our town, which was really funny. So then we started messing with him. So that just kind of reminded me of that. But my question is, catfish them how? Like, are you pretending to be yourself? Are you pretending to be some other girl? I've seen a lot of TikToks of people who have made fake Instagram accounts and start DMing someone's boyfriend just to see if they're willing to, like, cheat on their girlfriend, which just seems like an overall bad idea. Like, bad idea. But where people, they would have these people, like, DM them and be like, oh my god, you're so hot, can we hang out? And the boyfriend would be like, either, like, you know, like, get involved with that conversation, or, like, not get involved. But of course it's a TikTok, so everybody got involved, and it was, like, to expose people cheating, which is just kind of funny to me. Okay, next confession. I convinced my brother that he was born on a plane. Therefore, I told him that he wasn't born anywhere and doesn't exist. And he believed me. We love sibling love. Relatable, because my sister and I always have tried to convince my younger brother that he was adopted. And I think at some points he might have actually believed it, and my parents would go along with it, and we would all just be talking about how he was adopted, or how my dad had this thing when we were younger where he would tell us that they actually had another son before us, but he's now a ghost who's haunting the house, and his name was George. And every time every time my brother Reed did something bad, George would do something bad too. So, kind of sketch. Your poor brother. Oh well, he's fine. It's a character building experience. Also, how is someone born on a plane? That sounds horrible. Your poor mother. Wow. I would cry. That does sound absolutely dreadful, absolutely horrible. It kind of reminds me of, like, Jane the Virgin. Not that she had a baby on a plane, but just that it's just, like, that just seems kind of crazy to me. Because imagine you're sitting on a plane and some woman next to you is, like, going into labor. Like, what do you do? What do the flight attendants do? Like, are they trained with that? I don't know. I honestly feel like I'm outgrowing my friends, and whenever I'm around them, I feel so bad about myself. I wish I could have the courage to cut them off, but then who would I talk to and hang out with? Yeah, this difficult. Know how you feel, bro. That felt really gross to say. I think the hard thing with, like, being friends with people you necessarily maybe aren't really friends with anymore, or maybe they just aren't very good friends, or you're not good friends for each other, because most of the time it's not just, like, it's the one person's fault. It's just you two together aren't, you know, a good match of people to be friends, which is fine. But I feel like a lot of people, whenever you're talking about, like, cutting people off or getting rid of toxic friends, it's really easy just to say, okay, just stop talking to them, okay, like, hang out with other people. But then if you're someone who's, like, uncomfortable with, like, reaching out to different people, or maybe you feel like you don't really have anyone else to reach out to, that can be really scary. And then you're just kind of stuck with the same people who, like what you said, don't make you feel good about yourself. So, I mean, I don't really know what to say, because you can always try to reach out to people, different people, maybe spend more time with people you're acquaintances with, or trying to make better friendships. Or also at the same time, I always remind myself this, but it's okay to not have, like, one set group of people that you're friends with, or okay, you don't need to have one best friend. Like, I was talking about people in my art class about this the other day, where we were all talking about how none of us really had just one best friend. We all kind of had, like, a small group of people who we were good friends with, but not one person that really kind of stood out as a best friend. So just know that you aren't, like, alone with that. But if people aren't making you feel good about yourself, even if you're worried about, like, being by yourself, I feel like that's better than being around people who don't make you feel good. Like, Personally, I would rather hang out with myself than someone who makes me feel bad about myself. And I think that's another thing people don't think about is you don't always have to be with someone. You don't always have to have that set group of friends. It's nice, but I promise you, you'll be okay without it, and you will find new, better friends, or maybe rekindle old friendships. So, there's my advice for the day. Good luck with that, though. Okay, I have a crush on anyone that gives me the slightest bit of attention and is nice to me for the rest of the day. Honestly, relatable. I would say I'm very bad with that one. If someone's, or actually no, I used to be worse, but when I was, okay, I was gonna say when I was younger, but I was like, no, still applies now. If someone's like nice to me that I'm not necessarily friends with, I'm like, oh, you're cute. And then I'm like, absolutely not. Usually it's like a day thing, but definitely relatable. I feel you on that one. I just got my period and bled on the chair in my English classroom. Me and my best friend snuck in at lunchtime to clean the chair, but the door was locked and I accidentally broke the lock by forcefully getting in. The door couldn't shut and the handle fell off. The next day, the teacher addressed the class and asked who did it. My friend and I both stayed quiet and didn't say a word. I thought I'd get away with it until the whole entire grade was called into an assembly. The head of the school stood at the front of the room, gave a few messages, and asked, "Who broke the chair on the English classroom?" All of this was for a broken door. This naughty kid in my English class, that's funny, got the blame, and me and my friend kept our mouths shut and he also got detention for 2 days for damaging school property. His parents were informed, and I never admitted that it was actually me who had broken the door. Oh my god, scandalous. I love it. Also, I definitely feel like you're English because you said naughty, and I kind of love that. That made me laugh. That was good. Also, why this is just, I feel like this would happen in a movie because it just seems like such a ridiculous situation of where you broke into the room, but it was only so that you could like clean up like the chair, which would seem like a good thing because I feel like someone would be mad if they came back to a chair and sat in it and there was like blood in it, you know? So I feel like you're doing the right thing in a way. Maybe like not all the way, but then again, that's okay. You're fine. 2 days of detention, not that bad. But yeah, maybe don't tell people about that one, and I think you'll be good. Yeah. Okay, this next story, I cannot tell if it's real or not, and I cannot tell if someone's messing with me. I think my judgment has been really bad recently with life events about telling whether or not someone's joking. I don't know why, but I cannot tell if someone's being serious or not with me. Usually I can tell. Usually I can sense sarcasm really well, and I'm really good at being sarcastic. But this past week, I've just been really confused, and I can't tell if people are being sarcastic or not, or like joking or being dead serious. And then when I ask, I'm like, "Oh my god, are you being serious?" And they're like, "No, I'm joking." And then I'm like, okay, but that's like a really specific weird thing to joke about. I feel like that's not a joke. But okay. Yep, okay. So this is like one of those things. I left my childhood home on my 18th birthday in the middle of the night and didn't tell a soul. I moved to a different country, changed my name, and I dyed my hair, cut it, and wear contacts every day so that nobody knows my past, not even my fiance, who is a multi-billionaire. We live in Italy, and tonight I'm going to tell him everything. I just hope he understands, because I didn't change my personality at all. And all I did was not talk about my past and change the way I look, but only so that he would think that I didn't come from a shitty life. See, doesn't this sound like a Wattpad novel to anybody else? But last time in a Storytime episode, when I said something sounded like a Wattpad novel, a person DM'd me. I was like, no, this is actually real. Like, this was a story from my sister. So I don't know if this is one of those times, but let me tell you why I don't think it's real. 1, you're 18. How do you have enough money to move to a different country? 2, multi-billionaire. You're 18. 3, you're getting married. You're 18. I know people get married at 18, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Seems like the plot of a book or the plot of a movie that I should know. Oh my, ow. I just got a stabbing pain in my side. I always get paranoid that my appendix is gonna explode, which is like a really weird thing to be paranoid about. But then I'm like, okay, if I think more about it, then what if I actually like manifest that to happen? Because I sometimes make myself sick because I get so stressed, and then I'm convinced myself that I'm sick. One time I'm pretty sure I gave myself flu. I've given myself a cold. I've made my allergies worse. I've given myself asthma attacks. I mean, it's like kind of magical, but like in a really bad way where I just make myself sick. But oh wait, this is funny. So like a few weeks ago, this college basketball player, Oscar Shibwe, came to my school and gave a talk. If you don't know who he is, he was like ranked the #1 college basketball player like everywhere this past year. He plays for UK. But he came to our school and he was talking about how somehow him praying to God made him like unsick, like made him not sick anymore. And I was like, and I kept thinking, oh my God, like I do the opposite. I make myself sick. And I was like, what if I channel this college basketball player's motto? And what if I can make myself not sick? So I haven't tried that, but I'm pretty sure if you like tell yourself stuff where you're like, I'm not sick, I'm not sick, I'm not sick. Because I did that when I thought I had COVID. I did not have COVID, maybe, I don't know. And I kept telling myself, I don't have COVID, I don't have COVID, I don't have COVID, and I didn't have COVID. Was it just because I was paranoid and thought I had COVID and I actually didn't have COVID? Or was it because I manifested it? I don't know. There's no way to know, but we're gonna go with the manifesting part. I don't know how any of that related to that story, but I was gonna make a point. I just don't know. Anyway, my point, is this real? Is this story about leaving and moving to Italy and marrying a multi-billionaire, do we think that's real? Because I feel like no, but let me know what you think. Also, if this is your story, DM me because I'm invested. I had a crush on my history teacher. Why is it always the history teacher? Can we just point that out? Every single TikTok about having a teacher crush is about a history teacher. Okay, anyway, he was in his mid-20s and low-key ugly. He was also not a great person, but we'll get into that later. So when I first met him, this was my first year at the school, by the way, I didn't immediately become obsessed with him. I generally didn't think about him twice. But like halfway through the year, I don't know what happened, but one day I just saw him and was like, he's kind of hot, TBH, and was obsessed with him from then on. No clue about what I was thinking. So here's the embarrassing part. I used to leave class during his break period and go to talk to him for like 30 minutes at a time and just ask him about himself. Like we would be sitting alone in his classroom and I would listen while he went on a narcissistic rant and would just be in awe of how quote-unquote great he was. Looking back, I think he was just insecure and needed someone to listen to. And oh boy, did he not care about me at all. He would make fun of me sometimes in class to make the boys laugh. He was one of those annoying pick-me teachers. And he would swear, and I swear it would just break my heart every time. Then, when we were alone, he would tell me that I was the sweetest person, that I was so smart and that all this BS was just so that he could feel okay talking to me and feeling superior or whatever millennial men are on. Wow. Okay. Well, in spring, I found out that he was leaving, and I cried at school and had to fake sickness so I could go home. That was genuinely so awful. I remember the last day I saw him, I went and said goodbye. He hugged me and told me that he loved me. Girl, what? And would never forget me and all this stuff. I believed him, of course. Looking back, this story is more sad than embarrassing. Yikes. But yeah, I had a crush on my Republican millennial alcoholic history teacher. That in itself is embarrassing. Wow. Okay, but to be fair, I feel like this situation is more his fault because obviously you're like a minor and he is a grown man. So I feel like it's more embarrassing for him than it is for you. A little scary, a little bit. People are gross. Maybe he was getting fired for student teacher relations. You never know. Wow. Damn. Well, at least you have a good story to tell. I used to stalk my crush on social media. See, I told you, it's another one, another stalking. Like, full on stalk. The funniest part is that I didn't even have a real social media. I stalked her on Pinterest. Stop, that is so funny. Okay, but you can't really blame me. She was my first girl crush. And by the way, she rejected me because she was straight. Anyways, people know that I like her, but they don't know how much. That embarrassing fact is going to stay hidden. Okay, stalking someone on Pinterest. I don't know how you would do that, but it kind of makes sense because then if people have boards about things that they like, then you can ask them about their boards and be like, oh, I saw that you liked this TV show, or I saw that you like hiking, whatever it might be. So, I mean, could be a good social media to stalk. The other day I did get accused of stalking someone, which is not possible because this person has no Instagram post. So how could I stalk someone if you don't have an Instagram post? Explain that to me. Okay, explain that to me. Anyway, last night was such a weird experience. I've decided that for my own mental well-being, I am never talking to a guy after 10 p.m. on Snapchat. No, I'm not doing that. A weird experience. Anyway, I'm slightly scarred. It's fine. Okay. I have crushed on several gay guys. Like 4 gay guys. Why? Okay, this is really funny to me because I know my friend's mom would tell stories about how she went to prom with only gay guys and how she had like crushed on only gay guys. So I mean, I don't think you're alone in that one. Also, can we just talk about how the actor who plays Anthony, or Antony, however you say that, in Bridgerton is gay? And then I saw this on TikTok. They were like, wow, Netflix really did us dirty by making all of us fall in love with a gay man. So it's like that, but on a bigger scale. I did see a TikTok about that, and a girl was like, wow, y'all look really stupid right now for being obsessed with a gay man. And I was like, you're joking. Nothing wrong with being gay, but I was like, oh my god, my chance. You know, obviously, which I'm like, you're a famous actor, man. Why would I ever have a chance? But, you know, like, psychologically, whatever. And I was like, wow, that is really sad. For all the ladies out there. But hey, good for the guys obsessed with him. But yeah, that's kind of like that on a bigger scale. So, okay, probably better than straight guys. At least you could have fun dates, you know? Okay. One time I yelled my crush's name in the middle of a street randomly. And then all of a sudden, he and his friends came around the corner and they heard me. Yeah. Yikes. The other night I was walking my dog Tilly and just like having a conversation with myself because I was thinking about how to respond to things people say to me. And I was like just talking out loud, walking with the dog, and one of my neighbors had her window open and heard me speaking, and she was like, "Oh, guess we're shutting the window now. Don't want to hear that." And she shut the window. So she heard everything I was saying, so that's really awkward. But yeah, that sounds super uncomfortable. One time I kissed a guy on New Year's, and it turned out to be my cousin's boyfriend. She still doesn't know to this day. That was a year ago, and they are still dating. Girl, that is not good. I will say, that is not good. Maybe you should tell your cousin, because, I feel like people would side more with their family rather than a boyfriend. But then again, who is this guy if he's going out kissing other people? Has a girlfriend? Not worth it. Not worth it. Okay. In summer camp, we all went swimming, and I didn't feel like getting dressed, so I just put a dress over my swimsuit. We were all having lunch on this hill, and I took advantage of the fact that I knew I was wearing a swimsuit under my clothes and was manspreading a bunch. Honestly, valid. The super annoying girl started screaming at me, and I was so confused. She was like, "Oh my gosh, girl, I just saw your underwear." And to this, I smugly replied, "No, actually, it's a swimsuit," and pulled the skirt up just to prove it. Well, the swimsuit was kind of big for me, and the part that was meant to be covering my area had moved. Like a bunch. Like a lot. Like everything was totally out. So basically, I just gave this random girl a full view of what was going on down there. She started screaming even more and just had to tell everyone. Yeah, that is awkward. I will say that is awkward. I was on FaceTime with my sister once. I was like standing in a towel or getting dressed. I don't remember. And just all of a sudden, I don't know, I dropped whatever I was holding and just like full view of my boobs. And we both sat there and she was just like, "What is going on?" And I was like, "What is going on?" And honestly, I feel like it's more awkward over FaceTime. But I still laugh about that because now I tease them like, "How they remember when you saw my boobs?" Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry, that's really awkward for you. But kind of funny. I had a crush on this boy at school, and I found out where he lived by looking it up on Google Maps. He lived a few houses down from my neighbors, so one day after school I followed him, and he didn't realize until I was walking so close to him. He got to his door, and his mom thought I was a friend, so she just let me in. The next day, I found out he had a girlfriend, and that his mom thought that I was her. Shut up. Shut up. That is like, I know we've talked about social media stalking, but that is real life stalking. Like, you know that show You? That's this. That is a little scary. Yeah, that is a little scary. Also, why Google Maps? Why not Snap Maps? Girl, Google Maps. That, I can't believe. I'm sorry, this just baffles me. Following someone, like, okay, I always get paranoid that someone is following me. Like, I'm just walking and I'm like, "Oh my god, someone is following me," you know? Or I keep like looking around behind me because I'm like, okay, there's definitely someone there. And usually no one's there. I just get paranoid. But this is one of those times where someone is literally stalking you. And you know when you get that feeling where you can feel someone looking at you and you get kind of uneasy because you're like, "Oh my god, this is that." I would literally shit my pants. I would not know how to handle this. I actually have had a crush on my best friend, and I've had this crush for 2 years, and she still hasn't figured it out yet. Well, maybe that is because she doesn't like you. Sorry, that was mean. What I mean to say is maybe this girl sees you more as a friend, rather than someone she would date. So there's always that. Or maybe she's honestly just clueless and can't tell that you're being like flirty rather than friendly. So if you're interested in pursuing that, maybe make that distinction, because sometimes it can be confusing. About 2 years ago, the boy I loved broke my heart. His name was Frank, and he replaced me with a girl who really, really hated me. They both bullied me for ages, and I was really torn up about it and hurt by his backstabbing. I decided to get him back, and I was fed up with being mad and wanted to get even. The group he hung around with were accused of bringing drugs to school. We go to a really strict private school, so this was a massive deal. I heard about this and slipped an anonymous note saying that Frank had drugs in his locker. Oh my God. The school contacted his parents and he was suspended. They pulled the associate principal, head of our form, and Frank out to his locker to have it publicly drug searched in front of the entire year. He was so embarrassed that he started crying and people took photos. It quickly spread as a school meme, and he was so mad. The best part is that we are now really close friends, and I still haven't told him that I was the one who gave the note to the head of our form. Oh my God. That is so sneaky of you. I love it. That's like awful. But also, Frank, maybe Frank deserves it, okay? That was really creepy. I was just sitting here and my Google Home like thing just went off. Kind of creepy. Okay. Are you gonna end up telling Frank? Also, love how you chose the name Frank. That's funny to me. Frank reminds me of an Outlander. It's Claire's husband, or one of them, and it's just so strange. I think Frank is such a cute like old man name. Anyway, are you gonna tell him? Is he ever gonna know, or are we taking this to the grave? I vote take it to the grave. He doesn't need to know. It's fine. What doesn't know can't hurt him. Maybe, or tell him if you all get into a fight, be like, okay, Frank, shut up. Your name is Frank. Also, I was the one who said you had drugs in your locker. And you probably did, bud. So, there you go. Also, if he got suspended, wouldn't that mean that he did have drugs in his locker? So that is also his fault. I mean, you're just doing a service for everybody. Well, y'all, those were all the confessions that I have for today. Thank you for sending stuff in. And also, if you're like, Carmen, oh my God, every time you have a storytime episode, I never know how to send something in. Well, let me tell you. So when we have storytime episodes, I usually post it on my Instagram stories. So make sure you're following me on Instagram at the Girly Girl Podcast to make sure that you can send in a storytime for the next storytime episode. So follow me on Instagram at the Girly Girl Podcast, and you can also follow me on TikTok and Pinterest if you want to see more from me throughout the week. I post relatable videos, cute motivational quotes, and also you'll get updates on what the next episode is going to be and be able to submit stories for story times. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you have an amazing day, an amazing week, and make sure to check out the link in the description of this episode to shop Ana Luisa. Y'all, I swear their jewelry is so cute. I'm currently obsessed. Bye, y'all.